Hi everybody, this is Kevin with HD Photo Hub, and today I want to show you just how easy it is to create a custom flyer from scratch using our new visual media editor. Okay, so right now I'm on my business dashboard, so the first thing I need to do is click the business tab. From here I can navigate to the left nav and click custom designs. Alright, so from this custom designs page, we're going to be able to create custom flyers and custom social tiles. These behave very similar, but today I'm going to show you a custom flyer, but just keep in mind that anything you learn in this tutorial, you'll be able to apply to the social tile as well. So the first thing you need to do is choose the size of your canvas. For today, I'm going to do an 8.5 by 11 flyer. So I just click that little button and I'm already here. You can see that I've got my 8.5 by 11 canvas. But one thing I want to point out is that if you would like to customize your canvas, say you have kind of a wide format, you want to make more of a flip book or whatever you need to do, you just click in here, you target your canvas and you click edit page, and from here you can change the size of your canvas. So for today, this is going to work for me. The bleed is built in, so 8.5 by 11 boils down to 800 by 1050. So we're going to leave this as is. Click out, and let's start making our flyer. So the first thing I like to do is I like to name my flyer. So instead of new flyer, let's call this Demo Flyer 1. We are creating Demo Flyer 1 today. Please be excited. So now we have a name, we have a canvas, it's time to start adding all the cool stuff. So first thing I like to do is I like to start with a photo. It's really easy. We have our side nav here. From here you can add photos, headings, text, shapes. Today we're going to start with photo. So I click photo, automatically shows up here, and I can drag and drop. So I can move this photo wherever I want. I kind of have something in mind for what I want to do today. So I want what I'm going to call our primary photo. I want a big, awesome photo, probably my favorite photo of the listing. And it's going to live right up at the top and in the center. So there we go. That's pretty good. That's great. That's kind of what I want, but not exactly what I want. What I want is I want the photo to be cropped a little bit. I want it to be a little wider. I want to reduce the height. So to do that, I target my photo and I click again. And now you see I can adjust the window, so I can adjust the cropping on my photo. But that's actually kind of how I want it. What I want to do is I want to change the shape. So I grab this layer and I make it just a little bit different. I can readjust my photo here, and yeah, that looks good. Okay, bam, look at how easy that was. I'm gonna recenter that. See that cool little line telling me that my photo's centered. I'm gonna leave some room at the top here because I want to put some listing information up there, and bam, there we go. We have ourselves a primary photo. So next is I want to add some secondary photos. So to do that, I just click the photo tab again. Bam. There's another photo from my demo listing. I want these things to kind of live on top of my primary photo. I want to add 3 of them. So I'm going to add another one. I want this to be the same size, and I can do that by lining up my photo here. That looks good. Let's add one more. Oh, it's looking great. Okay, so let's go ahead and line these up so they're a little more centered. Take this one. I want this photo right in the center for my guides. There we go. And we'll drag this guy so he's about even as the other ones. It's looking pretty good. Good enough for now. But I want some separation between the secondary photos and the primary photos. I don't really like how these photos are just bleeding into the background photo. But what's great is that's easy to do with this visual media editor. So to do that, I'm going to take advantage of the shape tool. So I'm going to go into the left nav, click shape. The shape I want is a rectangle. And you can see my beautiful rectangle here. Just a big black rectangle for now. It's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up with my photo, roughly the size of my photo. And I want this to be white. So this is very easy. I click my shape. Up here we have some options in the top nav. We're going to click the paint. It's a little paint board. And from here we can choose from a variety of common colors. And we can also get really fancy and we can customize it. So as you're customizing your colors, you may have a brokerage or an office that has very specific colors. They might have a hex code that they want you to use. You can enter that here. You can really pretty much customize this to an infinite degree and get the exact color that you need. For today, we're lucky that the color I need is common white. Very easy. Click that. You can see that the color has changed. Now this is on top of my photo and I actually want it to sit behind my photo. It's really easy to change the layer priority. To do it, you just target the shape, photo, text, whatever it is that you need to move, and then right click it. So I'm right clicking my rectangle, and from here I have unlocked these options to copy, paste, delete. I could move it forward, but it's at the very top, so there's no option to move forward. So instead I can go backwards or I can go to the very bottom. I don't want to go to the bottom because I don't want this to be behind my primary photo. I want it to sit behind the second photo, but on top of the primary photo. So to do that, I'm going to move it backwards in priority until it looks right. So I click backwards, I click backwards, I click backwards. And now I have found the right layer priority. I can move out of here, and now I can kind of customize this to where it looks better. So this is centered to my photo now. You can see that with the really handy guide. I mean, I rely on this guide so much. So, okay, we're centered, but I want this to be not so chunky. It's a little too big. Bring it in just a tad. Actually, I want to bring it down just a little bit. So to do that, I can click it, and now I'm going to use the keys on my keyboard, the arrow keys, to just fine tune this. With these arrow keys, I can move everything 1 pixel at a time. How cool is that? So bring that down. How's that? That look good? Good enough, right? So now I need to make 2 more of these, and it's really easy. I right click my shape, I click copy, I right click my canvas, I click paste. I bring it over, I center it, and then I right click it and I move it backwards in layer priority until it looks right. And let's do 1 more. Center it, right click it, move it backwards in priority. Ooh, that's a little too tall. Bring it down just a skosh. Wow, look at that. So now we have created sort of a little mini photo gallery here, a nice backdrop. I wish there was some separation though between the rectangles. I don't like that the white is just one big block. It's not what I was going for. So I'm going to select my photo and I'm going to select my backdrop at the same time. I hold shift to do that while I click both of them, and now I'm going to drag them out just like that. That's about right. Okay, and then we need to do the same for our far right photo. Yeah, let's go about there. Okay, so now we got some separation. We see a little bit more of that primary photo, and we can see our secondary photos. They're standing out nice with this backdrop, so this looks great. So keep in mind that these listing photos, these are from my demo account. When you build this, it's going to automatically pull the photos from the listing that your client is working on. So they're not going to be stuck with the photos of the listing that you're using to build your flyer. system is intelligent enough to grab the photos from the listing that they're working on. So it's going to grab photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, photo 4, and they will have the ability to choose whatever photos they want and adjust the cropping themselves if it's not exactly hitting the mark for what they were looking for. So try to give creative control to you and your clients so that you guys can get exactly what you want. Not every business is the same. We understand that. We want you to be able to create whatever marketing material you need, and we want your clients to be able to do it easily and hopefully without having to contact you for any support. So now it's time to add a little bit of listing detail. I want to say something about the listing now, not just show the photos. So to do that, I'm going to take advantage of this space at the top of the flyer so that I can add the price and a little bit of a description about the listing. So let's go ahead and create another shape, another rectangle. Let's line this puppy up with our primary photo. A little bit of space there. How's that? Yeah, that looks great. So I don't like the black though. My client, they typically use this kind of earthy brown tone. Pick that. What is that? Brown, olive, mauve, mahogany? I don't know, but it's the color they like. So let's use that color and let's put some text on this. So to add text to your flyer, you can click the text button over here. You see this text is automatically added. We want our text to kind of live on the right side here. And we want it to be the price of the listing. So this listing is, let's just say $1 million. Pow. Okay, that's not where I want it though. I want it on the right side. So to do that, I target my text, and you can change the horizontal alignment with this button up here. Right now it's aligned to the left. I click it once and it's center aligned. I click it one more time and it's right aligned. And I want this to be white as well. So I target my text, I click my paintboard, and I changed it to white, just like I did with my shape earlier. Okay, that's looking better. I want it to be a little bit bigger. Yeah. Okay, so what I've done now is I've hard-coded $1 million as a price onto this flyer. So any of my clients that want to use this flyer, the price is going to say $1 million. If they want to change it, let's say their listing is not $1 million, they will need to come in and they will need to target the text. They will have to edit it. What's great is that it's 2022. We live in the age of automation, and we can actually make this easier on our clients. We can automatically add the listing price to the flyer. We can automate this so that they don't need to get in and do any editing. They automatically see the listing price on the flyer and it's good to go. So let me show you how you do that. We have these options in the top nav. There's this, what I think looks like kind of like a little data warehouse. This is what we want to use. So we click this, and from here we can see all of the dynamic variables that are available for our marketing material. We have listing specific stuff over here, the site data column, addresses, city, state, price, beds, baths, open house dates, all kinds of cool options. And then over here we have combined versions of those variables. We also have agent, client specific things, the name, last name, office name. We also have co-list options. So if you have clients that are doing co-listings, we can also dynamically populate that stuff. Today we're doing just a simple one agent listing, and I want to put the price in. So I'm going to come over here to the listing side of things, and I'm going to click list price. Okay, so now I have the list price set as a dynamic variable. I can get rid of this placeholder. I can click out, and look at that. Now I have correctly formatted to the right side the white text, and it's dynamic. So this demo listing is $299,999. But if your client is selling a listing for $800,000, it's going to show $800,000. It's always going to show exactly what the listing is whatever the listing price is entered in the system. So if we wanted to edit any of this stuff, we would, just like I did that placeholder text. So you target your dynamic variable here, and you can change the size, and you can even change the font. So let's go ahead and see what actor looks like. Wow, not my favorite, not my choice, but we can easily change it. So let's look at some of these categories. Let's pick a sans serif font, and let's go with a Remo. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I like that 35. Yeah, that looks okay. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna actually move it up just a bit, because what I want to do now is I want to add a little bit of descriptive text underneath. Accidentally shrunk it too much. Okay, so we've got our price. Now let's add some descriptive text. So to do that, I click text. I get a new text box. This is fresh, hot off the press. I'm gonna format this to be, yeah, looks about right. What do we want to say about the listing? Let's say living with beauty and modern feels. Okay, that doesn't look quite right. I think that needs to be right aligned. So remember, I target my text, I come up to the top, I click my horizontal alignment bar, and I move it to the right. And then I also need this to be white. So I have my text targeted, I click my color board, and I change the color to white. And there we go. I now have a little bit of a description underneath my price. Now keep in mind, this is a static description, so it will always say living with beauty and modern feels when the client opens this flyer, but they do have the option to click the text and change it to whatever they want. So they could say living with beauty and not modern feels. Not sure why they would want to do that, but they can. For now, let's go back to our original text, and it's looking pretty good, right? We got our listing price, we got a little bit of a description, we got a primary photo, we got 3 secondary photos. They really pop because they're on these white backgrounds with borders. I think it's time to add some agent branding. You know, that's really important. They want to see their office logo. A lot of offices require the branding to be on the marketing materials. It's a no-go if it's not there. So let me show you how to do that. So we're going to go ahead and click photo, and we are going to drag it up here. Now this is serving as a placeholder for our office logo. So I have it there. I click my photo. This looks right. And now you see this media button up at the top. This is how I'm going to change which dynamic media is used. I click it, and let's go to logo, and we're going to use the primary logo. So bada boom, bada bing, you can see we have automatically added the client's logo to the marketing material. Now, this is a dynamic variable, so whatever client is working in the flyer, they're going to see their office logo here. So ours is the real estate group. Their logo's here. Looks good. I'm going to make it just a little smaller. Don't tell them. Align that with my photo below. There we go. Now we have, really, this is starting to come together. We have our dynamic price, we have our dynamic listing photos, and we have our dynamic office branding. So I think what's next is I'd like to add some more description about the listing itself, kind of here in the heart of the flyer. So to do that, I click text, and I'm going to have that centered. I'm going to create a little bit of a border here. I'm going to use the edge of my secondary photos to define the border for my text down here. And I want to use the full border. There we go. And what I'm going to put here, is, I know how much this listing costs. I know that it's beautiful and modern. I know that it's listed by the real estate group, and I know what it looks like. I think it's time to tell everybody where it's located. We should probably put the address on our listing flyer, right? So to do that, I'm going to clear my text. I'm going to go back up to my data warehouse button, and I'm going to choose address as my dynamic field. Okay, let's see. There we go. We have the street address now in our flyer. I'm going to target my street address. I'm going to use my horizontal alignment button to horizontally align this to the center of the flyer. And let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good. Let's make it just a little bit bigger. And by little bit, I mean a lot of it. Let's go all the way up to size 45 font. All right, that looks cool. I'm happy with that. I would actually like this font to be a little thinner. And so I'm going to go in here. Ooh, look at Archivo, however you say it. That's not what I want. Let's play around. Look at all these options. I mean, we have got font options galore. You can really get in here and make this thing look exactly like you want. Spend a lot of time customizing your fonts, font sizes, weights, character spacing. We're not going to get into all those fine details today. We're going to do a real simple flyer. Maybe Lectin's going to be closer to what I'm looking for. Don't love it. We want something simple and thin. News cycle. There we go. That'll work. That'll work for today. So we have our listing address, our street address. And I think underneath this, I want to put the city, the state, and the zip. So I'm going to create another text box. I'm going to drag it right where I want it. I'm going to align it to the previous text box, which was aligned to the edges of my secondary photos. There we go. And I'm going to delete this text. I'm going to come up to my data warehouse. And from here I could do city, state, zip, or I can take advantage of the combined fields, and you can see that city, state, zip is available. So let's try that out. We know we want this centered. Go ahead and save a step and do that now. Take a peek. There we go. We've got our city, Spokane, our state, Washington, and our zip code 99201. And I want this to come up a bit, so I just grab it. Simple. Let's go up just a little bit more. Wow, that easy. What did we use here? It was called News Cycle. So I want to match my fonts, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to just go ahead and type News Cycle in. There it is. Now we have our fonts matching. Let's make this guy just a little bit smaller. Let's take it down to 20. Yep. Okay, so we have our street address, we have our city, our state, our zip. Let's add a little bit of a description. I think it's time to add the dynamic description to this thing. I'm going to tidy up my text box, so I got room for another one. I'm going to click text. Fresh text box coming in hot. Align this thing. You know the drill. Get our edges aligned, so if we want to center align it, it's consistent. Let's delete that text. Let's come back up to the data warehouse. Click the data warehouse and go over to our site data. And from here, we actually have a description available. So let's put in the dynamic description. See what that looks like. Okay, this beautiful home features top quality craftsmanship throughout. From the custom cabinets to the solid wood doors to the spacious floor plan, this home is a must-see. Wow, sign me up. I'm going to the open house for sure because that description is so great. But I do need it to match the rest of my font, so remember we use News Cycle. There it is. And let's center align it. Wow, okay, this is looking like a real flyer. I think though, I kind of want to try something new here. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure there's room for my amenities, and I need to still do some agent branding at the bottom of the flyer. So I'm going to need to shrink this text. So let's take it from 25, all the way down to 15. There's a lot. We're saying a lot here. Okay, so now the text, it's taken up the full width. Seems to fit pretty well. But I got an idea. Let me know how this might work. What if we drug this text and it kind of took up the right side of the flyer? Maybe we can, yeah, there we go. Okay, you're probably thinking, what are you doing? That looks weird. What I want to do is I want to add my amenities to the left side here. So to do that, I'm going to create a new text box. I'm going to bring it down. Going to align the edge. And we're going to say amenities. This is going to serve as our header. Let's go ahead and use our news cycle font that we've been using. Let's knock this down to 20. Let's make it bold. Okay, now align these. Let's center this to our box. Okay. Tidy it up. All right. And let's drag in another text box. And now this is where we're going to put our dynamic amenities into. See how that aligned? So now my text boxes are horizontally the same size. It's very, very cool. Delete this text, go back up to the data warehouse. I live here, and let's choose amenities. Look at that. Okay, let's click out. Yep, there they are. Deck with the fire pit, the granite countertops, the walk-in shower, the sunroom. Wow, the fiber internet, that's important. And then just a little disclaimer, this is a sample because we are working in a demo account today. So let's go ahead and change the font to News Cycle. And we used 18-point or 15-point font over here. We want that to match. So dial this down to 15. I think I'm going to left align this. And honestly, I think this would work better with bullets. So we're going to target the amenities. We're going to click the bullet tab. And from here we have a variety of bullet options. You can do a filled circle, a hollow circle, tiny circle, you can do a diamond. I'm just going to do a standard filled circle today. I could change the size and the colors. Let's make it just a little tinier. Take it down to 60. Keep it black. I like the way that looks. Okay. So now one important note is that in this preview here, there is a bullet only for the first amenity. But when your client looks at this, there's going to be bullets for every amenity. So rest assured, it's going to look right on their end. Up. Let's maybe put it right on top. Clean that up. Okay. Bring the description down so it's even with the amenities. Yeah. Okay. And what I think this is missing here is we need something to divide the amenities from the property description. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Shapes tab to do that. So click Shape. As you can see, there's a variety of options here. So we could do all kinds of stuff, but I'm going to use a rectangle. I'm going to bring it right here. I'm going to make it very skinny so it acts kind of as a wall. Put it right in between here. And I'm going to make this color match my color at the top that I used for my decorative text. So I'm going to click my paint panel. I'm going to go back to this color that I like. There we go. If I want to change this, I can. For now, this is looking pretty good. Okay, so I've got amenities, I've got property description. Maybe, what do you think? Do we need to add? They need to know this is a description. I think they do. So I can right click, I can copy, and I can paste. Now I've copied my amenities text exactly. Move it over to this side, and let's say description. Okay, so now we have a static title, description, and amenities with dynamic content that lives underneath it. So this is really cool. I'm gonna actually left align this. Bear with me here. Okay. Take our description. We're gonna left align it. Just get a little bit of a cleaner look. We're gonna align our header to the left alignment here. Same. Okay, so now we have set titles, amenities, and description, and then we have dynamic content that lives below them. So your clients are going to see the amenities and the description title, but then these are going to be specific to the listing. Just dynamite. I think that's so cool. I'm going to take this, just make it a little bit thinner. There we go. And I'm going to take my city, state, and my listing address, move them up. Okay. All right. So, we're doing a demo flyer. I'm not going to spend forever tweaking this today, but you're getting the idea here. So we've got our price. We've got our dynamic office branding. We've got 4 listing photos with backdrops to make them pop. We've got dynamic street addresses, a dynamic city-state zip. We've got amenities and descriptions with dynamic content below them. And let's go ahead and take it home and do the final piece here. It's going to be the agent branding. So I'm going to copy what I did at the top. I'm going to take my backdrop. I'm going to right-click it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come to the bottom. I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste. I'm going to drag this down and create, a little bit of a branding sandwich. So there we go. We now have a spot for our branding at the bottom of the flyer, and they want to see their face. The agent, the client, they're going to want to put their image at the bottom here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're going to add the agent photo. I just click photo to get a new photo block. Remember, this is just a placeholder for what my dynamic content is going to be. So I'm going to get it roughly the right size. Yep, looks about right. Click it, and then up here on the top nav, remember I have my media button I can click, and I can change what the dynamic placeholder is. So for this one, I want it to be a client photo, and I can choose from the solid background, or if your client has a clear photo, which means the background has been removed, it's a PNG file, we can use that. I think that just looks so cool, so let's go with the clear. Click out, and now it's branded with my agent photo. But see how the top of her head is cut off? That's a no-no. So to fix that, remember we double click, and from here we can adjust the crop. So, bam, cool. So now our agent is sitting at the bottom of the flyer. We have the transparent background, so we have this cool effect where she's kind of coming out of her container, giving you the description, presenting her listing. But we need to add a little bit more. We need to add probably her name and her phone number so people know who to contact when they want to buy the house. So we click text, got ourselves a new text box. Kind of line it up to our container here. Get rid of that text, go back to the data warehouse, just a couple more trips here and we're going to be done for the day. We're going to put in the client name. Client name is going to combine first and last. We could do them separately if we wanted to, but for today, client name is perfect. Click out. This is Sharon Holmes. She is sharing this home with anybody who's interested. That's why she's Sharon Holmes. And we do need to change her name to be let's make it a white font. Yeah, looks a little bit better on this background. Let's drag it up just a bit. And let's clean up our box. And let's add another box for a little bit more about Sharon. So text, drag her down, line her up. There we go. Let's get rid of this text. Let's go back to the data warehouse and let's look at some other client options. I think we definitely want to have the phone number. Yep. We want that phone number to be white so it matches. That's cool. Drag that up. Yeah, that looks pretty good, pretty close. So Sharon Holmes, 833-337-3171. Let's make that 20-point font. Yeah, now we're cooking. All right, we've got her phone number. I think she probably wants her email address on there too. So let's go ahead and add text. We click the text box. You guys have seen this now. Bam. Line that up. Let's get rid of that text. Let's go back to the data warehouse and let's put in her email. Let's make it white. Okay. So now we've got Sharon, we've got her phone number, we got her email address, we got her photo. I'd say we're starting to look like we got a full flyer here. I do kind of want to move this stuff over. So one thing I want to do is I want to pay attention to these bounding boxes. So Sharon Holmes, she has a pretty short name, but let's drag this over so that just in case our client has a name longer than Sharon Holmes, what'll happen is when that text hits the edge of this box, it's just going to automatically shrink it so that the text doesn't go on top of their photo. And let's do the same here. These addresses could be, email address could be kind of long. So that can come up a bit. And phone number. There we go. Okay, so we have her name, we have her phone number, we have her email address. So this is now branded to Sharon. Bring her over just a bit. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking like kind of exactly what I want. Let's say, you know, actually I want this to be a different color at the bottom. That's easy. I target my shape. I come up here. Let's go with kind of like an off gray. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. That's easy. Wow, so this is good. This is looking great. So we have our dynamic price. We have our dynamic office branding. We have some dynamic images, dynamic listing address, dynamic city, state, zip. We got amenities. We got description. They're both dynamic. We have the agent branding. We have their actual knocked out photo with their name, their phone number, and their email address. all dynamic, all designed by you, all customizable by the client at the end of the day. If you wanted to, you could come down here and you could add another page. You can keep adding pages. You can do multi-page PDFs, flip books, front back flyers, postcards. The world is your oyster. It's up to you how creative you want to be and how much time you want to spend making custom materials for your clients. If you want to start editing the second half, it's easy. You know exactly what to do now. You click photo, you drag it where you want. Let's say the back, we just want to do primary photo and 2 more photos. We drag them down. And we do 1 more photo. Because you know what this is going to be? My favorite part. We're going to go to the media. We're going to go to the client. We're going to make it clear. We're going to adjust it so we see all of Sharon. There you go. You could have your agent just take up the whole second half of the flyer. I mean, you probably don't want to do that, but you can get creative. There's so much cool stuff you can do, guys. You could take your photo, you could make it the full width of the back of the flyer. Here's an interesting idea. We could take this photo. We could use this right here. This button up here is going to let us add a gradient. So I'm going to add a radial one. I'm going to use the center as pure black. So you can see here, it's kind of what we're doing. We're configuring the colors and the transparency. I don't want this that transparent because I want to add some text over this. Go like that. We can change the color that it bleeds into, and kind of know this is their office color, so let's go with that. And yeah, a little less transparent on that end. Yeah, look at this. So we're adding a gradient to our primary photo, and then we're going to go ahead and call it a day here. One last little addition. We're going to take this photo. We're going to set it to be the logo. And we're going to take one last piece of text. We're going to go back to the data warehouse just one last time for the day. And we're going to put the phone number one more time. It's so important that you be able to get a hold of this agent for this listing. We're going to make it white. We're going to increase it to 35 size font. And we're going to center it. Pull this down. And there you have it. So now we have front of the flyer with all the listing details and the agent branding. Back of the flyer, you're going to get one last peek at the primary photo or whatever photo the agent wants to show off. The gradient will always be on top of it with the office logo and the phone number. You can add whatever you want here. You probably want to put the agent name one last time, whatever you want to do. I'm just really showing you how easy it is to add more pages to your flyer. But for now, we're going to call this good. This would be a two-sided flyer. We're done, but there's one very important thing we need to do before we wrap this up for the day. We need to save it. So we're going to click Save and Close. And now you can see down here in our custom flyer designs, demo flyer 1 is there. It's inactive. I need to go activate that for my clients. That's the next step. But today's really just about showing you what these flyers are, how to work on them. If you did want to make a variation to this flyer, it's easy. You can see now that with our custom flyers, they're available as a base. So I can go to demo flyer 1. I can create a new version of Demo Flyer 1, and there we go. So, maybe what I need to do is something real simple. I need to do a dark mode version. It's easy. Take this, send it to the bottom. Bam. Now I've got a black background. I can take my text, I can make it white. Just like that. We have ourselves a new version of our flyer. You can see these boxes don't look as good now with the background. I would actually change these two, make these black. There you go. Now you have a dark mode version of the same flyer. Probably take this, make it white. Make it black. Make it black. And make it black. Wow. That's great. And you know what? She doesn't look as good with her knockout on a black background. It's cool. I come up to media, revert back to the solid image. Okay, there you have it. We have a variation of our flyer. We'll call this Demo Flyer 2. Save it. And there you go. We've created 2 flyers today. You can see them down here in our custom flyer designs. Again, if you wanted to make a social tile, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to click down here, get started in this canvas. Your editor's the same thing. You're dragging photos, you're dragging text, you're saying new listing. There you go. I've made a social tile already. So that's it for today. I hope that you were able to learn something new, see how easy it is to create a flyer from scratch. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email us at support@hdphotohub.com. You can also check out our help topics if you want to get some more granular details on how to use the visual media editor. And until next time, I hope that you have a great day. And I look forward to showing you more about the visual media editor in the future.